Hi everyone, I am Chef Vivien Cunha and I'm here at the Pier Room at Lazy Acres Natural Market in Hermosa Beach, California. We are in California, sunny California. It's a beautiful day today. I don't know where you are watching, where you're from, but here in California it's a 75-degree day today. Really happy, and it's a happy day. We're gonna make pizza, a vegetarian pizza, delicious plant-based pizza. And all the ingredients today, you can scroll up on top of the comments. All the ingredients are listed there. So we're gonna be doing together. We're gonna need a machine like this if you have one. It's gonna facilitate a lot to make the crust and the dough. So if you don't have one of those, you're gonna have to do it by hand, which I'm gonna show you how. But it's a process that will take about 20 minutes kneading by hand your dough. So this cuts the process by 5 minutes, so 1/4 of the time. So this baby is a good thing to have, a machine like that. You can bake cakes, you can make bread. It's a great tool to have. So all the ingredients, as I said, are listed on top of the comments. And let's start about flour. So today I'm going to be making a crust that is gluten-free. So you can use all-purpose flour, you can use semolina flour, corn flour, you can do a blend. But I found out that the crust from the gluten-free, it's a really light crust. It doesn't get as crunchy as the all-purpose flour and the semolina, but it's healthy, you know, it's gluten-free, it's good for your digestion. So we're gonna be needing 3 cups of gluten-free flour, which I'm gonna tell you the ingredients and I'm gonna place it right here on my bread machine. Not bread machine, my Cuisinac. So 3 cups of flour right here. And I like my crust to have a lot of flavor, not just salt. I want to put some spices here so it's yummy. The crust itself is delicious. So I'm going to be putting 1 teaspoon of garlic powder right here. Get my measurements, yes. 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. I'm going to be putting 1 teaspoon of onion powder. I'm going to be putting 1 teaspoon of Italian seasoning and some sea salt, about 1 teaspoon as well. And if by all means, if you like oregano, thyme, herb de Provence, whatever seasoning you want, you can put it right here on your pizza. It's your pizza. I'm just giving you a recommendation of the spices that I like. What else? Then we're going to be needing 8 tablespoons of olive oil. So I'm going to be putting right here the 8 tablespoons of olive oil. 1 extra virgin olive oil. And Lazy Acres natural oil. This is the brand from Lazy Acres. It is delicious. It's a really rich extra virgin olive oil. So I have 5, 6, 7, and 8. I have 8 tablespoons total. Now, this is prepared. Then I have 1 cup of warm water. Cannot be too hot, cannot be too cold. My technique is I dip my fingers in the water 5 times, and it feels that it doesn't burn your finger. It's doable. If you don't have this technique down, it's 130 degrees. If you have a thermometer at home, put the thermometer there, 130 degrees. That's the temperature of the warm water. Then we're gonna be using a fast rise yeast. This yeast rises really fast. It is a good quality we have here in the store. So I'm gonna be adding the yeast right here to the water. And 1 tablespoon of sugar. Sugar feeds the yeast. So I'm gonna mix this really well. And we're gonna wait 5 minutes. You let this rise for 5 minutes. And once you have a crust, like the bubbles are gonna come up and it's gonna rise about 1/4 of an inch. And that's when you know your yeast is working. If you don't have that foamy 1/4 of an inch foam that rises, throw it away, start the process all over again. So this is a really good quality, easy rising yeast. And I'm gonna let it here rest. Once this is rising, is active, we place it right here in our bread machine. And then we're gonna knead for 5 minutes. So when I'm waiting for my yeast to rise, let's talk about the other ingredients. So not to waste time, let's talk about the other ingredients for our pizza. We're gonna need 3/4 of a cup of marinara sauce. We're gonna be needing 2 kinds of cheeses today. I'm gonna be using mozzarella cheese, nice mozzarella cheese, and 1 cup of chèvre cheese. Chèvre is a goat cheese. So 2 kinds of cheeses. We're gonna be having kale today. Look how beautiful this kale, organic kale. So 1 bunch of kale and 1 shallot. And our butternut squash, which is so delicious and adds a lot of color to our pizza. And let's start cutting our butternut squash. We're also gonna be using some interesting herbs today. We're gonna be using sumac. Sumac is a Mediterranean spice. It's dark in color like that. And it adds a really earthy, delicious flavor to our butternut squash. Also, I'm gonna be using za'atar. Za'atar, also a Mediterranean spice, which is made of sesame seeds, sumac, marjoram, and thyme. So we're gonna have a lot of flavor in our pizza today. It's gonna be a pizza like no other. You never had a pizza like that, I promise you. So, and then we're gonna have a delicious dressing to drizzle. And the ingredients for that are 3 lemons, 2 tablespoons of tahini, which is sesame paste, salt and pepper to season, grapeseed oil, 2 tablespoons of grapeseed oil, and 1 tablespoon of maple syrup. It's gonna be a delicious dressing. So we're gonna turn our oven at 400 degrees right now, and to roast our butternut squash. So I'm just gonna peel this butternut squash. And this is a healthy pizza. It's gluten-free, has a lot of veggies, kale, butternut squash, cheese. If you are dairy intolerant, you can use vegan cheeses, which here we have amazing vegan cheeses here in the store also. But today I'm using mozzarella and chèvre cheese. You know, a lot of people that are dairy intolerant, usually they do really well with goat cheeses like feta and chèvre cheeses. I don't know, maybe something to do with the different kind of enzymes in the milk. So the goat cheese is not as, I know this because I have 2 children that are dairy intolerant, and once in a while it's okay for them to have goat cheese. And because I love it, I'm using today as well. So, see? Our yeast is rising. You can see there's a little foam rising. This is a fast rising yeast, so it's great. So I can use it already because it's rising. Once it separates, you see the foamy on top. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna use this paddle, it's the mixer paddle. I'm gonna put right here in my machine. Try and find the end. And then, whoops, full of flour. And then I'm gonna put this rising yeast right here. And then we're gonna mix for 5 minutes. Just give a nice mix. Meanwhile, we just cut our butternut squash, finish it up with that. And if you feel lazy, you can buy the pre-cut butternut squash here in the store as well. You have the amazing pre-cut vegetables here to make your life much easier. But here, I'm just gonna cut with you guys. Cut. Throw this away. I like butternut squash a lot. I use in soups, and I think when you make a salad or a pizza or anything with a butternut squash, it just adds amazing color to it. Bright orange. So once you cut the butternut squash in half, you gotta remove the seeds. You gotta remove the seeds here. Just in the cavity here. And here too. And remember to preheat your oven at 400 degrees. The oven should be nice and hot. There's a little bit of these hairs. You gotta remove all these hairs here. Take some time. That's why if you have the option to buy pre-cut here, it's a good thing too. Because we have this option here at Lazy Acres. So let's clean up here. Clean up. And let's cut the butternut squash into cubes. Okay, let me see how this is going. Okay, I'm going to turn it off. So basically, I want to mix this mixture with this paddle for about 4 minutes. Then I'm going to switch. I'm going to add the bread paddle, and I'm going to put here. And we're going to be kneading the dough with this paddle. That's the bread paddle. When you make bread at home, that's what you do. So, and also, let's talk a little bit about the consistency of our dough. Every time you make pizza, every time you use a different dough, you might need to add a little bit more liquid, or you might need to add more flour. The consistency you're looking for here is a dough that is loose and it becomes like a dough, and it gets together. So I'm looking at my dough right now. It needs a little bit of extra water. So I'm just gonna get some water. So add a little bit at a time, like a teaspoon at a time. That makes a difference. So we're gonna be kneading that for about 5 minutes. Meanwhile, we're gonna cut our butternut squash and roast it. Roast it. I miss having you guys live because you ask me questions I can't answer. And here I'm just answering all the questions as we go. And I wish I could, the dough is getting really nice. A splash more of water, very little. You gotta add a little bit at a time, because if you add a lot, then it's a mess. Then you have to add more flour. And this takes about 5 minutes. And after I finish here, I'm gonna show you guys how to knead the dough by hand, which is very therapeutic too. Butternut squash. And we're gonna need a roasting pan. We're gonna be needing a roasting pan to put our butternut squash here. So, beautiful butternut squash. And it's great because butternut squash is available all year long. And you can cook different ways throughout the year. Make soups, stuffed, roasted. I have many, many recipes with butternut. So here I have my butternut pre-cut. I'm just gonna put them in a roasting pan. Just like that. I'm gonna add some extra virgin olive oil to it. I'm gonna add some sumac, which is a Mediterranean spice that we're talking about. Sumac is a flower that it has this dark, beautiful burgundy color. So 1 teaspoon of sumac. I'm also going to be using some smoked paprika. 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika. Some sea salt. Some sea salt. And what else I'm going to put here? I'm going to put some za'atar, which is sumac, sesame seeds, thyme, and marjoram. Add some here. Then we're just going to mix that. I like to mix with my hands so I know nice and, coated with the beautiful spices. That's about now. And let's roast that in the oven for about 40 minutes. So I'm going to put this beautiful butternut squash in the oven for 40 minutes. All right. So that gave us the time to see how our dough is doing. It has been 5 minutes already. Let's see it. It looks beautiful. I'm going to show you guys. Let me just wash my hands really quick. Wash my hands. So look how beautiful this dough. I'm going to show on the camera. So it has this beautiful, very, very soft. It's like playing with Play-Doh, the consistency of a Play-Doh. It's very therapeutic. And I'm going to take this monster machine out of here. And I'm going to show you guys how, if you don't have this machine, I'm going to show you how to knead by hand. Ugh, heavy. So here we have the dough. And to knead by hand, if you don't have this machine, you just go like that. You flip the dough and you massage it like that again. Then you flip it once more time and you go like that. It's very nice. It's very nice to do this process. It's very, like when you want to meditate and think about something, this is the same process of making bread, and it's very therapeutic. You can just like put some music when you need to think, and stress release. It's a very, very nice way to massage your hands, to use your hands. So, but that's going to be like about 20 minutes, so you don't have this machine. So 20 minutes until your dough is very elastic, like this one. It's a beautiful dough. It feels really good. Then I'm just going to shape this dough in a form of a ball, like that. And just massage it, make a beautiful little ball like this. It looks like a nice heavy ball. This is enough for 1 large pizza or 2 medium-sized pizzas. So what we do is we have a bowl and we put some olive oil in the bowl, about 1 tablespoon, and then we spread it around all over the bowl, and we put our dough inside and we turn it around. Make sure all the dough is coated with this beautiful olive oil. That prevents from the crust in the dough, that horrible crust that ruins the dough. So here we have it, and we're going to cover this dough with a plastic wrap, just like this one. This one I did about an hour ago, so I want to show you the difference. See how it rised? It rised a lot, almost doubled in size. And you just punch it down, and it's very bubbly. This one needs 1 hour to rise, so we're going to cover with the plastic around, and maybe put a towel on top, and then it's going to rise double. I'm going to leave it right here. So look how beautiful this dough is. It smells so delicious, and it's gluten-free. It's a beautiful dough. Then you're going to need something like this to roll your dough. And you can use a pizza pan. You can use a pizza wire. Today we're gonna do it in a roasting pan. You get the roasting pan, just like that. I'm gonna make kind of like a square pizza, so-called square pizza. So let me show you how it's done. I'm gonna spread some olive oil in the baking pan like that. And with my hands, I'm just gonna spread it around. And then we're gonna roll our pizza dough. If you don't have one of these, you can do it with a round bottle, or you can do by hand, just like that. But just get one of those, they're really fun. Here, just spread the dough around. It looks so beautiful. It's very, very elastic, and that's what you want. And it has all these herbs, so the dough has a lot of flavor. And you can do this as a flatbread as well. You can do mini pizzas. Mini pizzas, you can make the shape you want, rectangular, oval, round. And you can even call that flatbread. It has the same consistency. Look how perfect this dough is. And that's exactly what you want. When you roll, your dough is very, very elastic. And this dough can be refrigerated for 3 days in the fridge and can be used within 3 days. And if you're not using, let's say you want to do half of a pizza, like a medium pizza, you can refrigerate the other half of the dough, or you can freeze it for a later use. You wrap in plastic wrap, put in a Ziploc bag, put a date so you don't forget. It can be frozen up to 1 month, or it can be refrigerated up to 3 days. So let's say you have pizza today, and 3 days from now you're like, I would like to have pizza again. You can still have the pizza. Or it's a great thing to have. You don't have to order pizza. You can make your pizza. Look how easy that is. And economical too. Very economical to make your own pizza. See how beautiful? Now I take my roller and I gently roll my pizza like that. It's like a big gigantic roll, and that makes it so much easier when you spread the pizza on a pizza pan. So now I just mold the pizza in the shape I want. I'm gonna make an oval shaped pizza. What do you guys think, right? You can make as pretty as you want. You can make small, you can make large. You can make mini pizzas as an appetizer, like if you're having a party. Just make little mini pizzas. That would be delicious. It looks so pretty too. So, I'm making an oval-sized pizza. In my oven, you should preheat the oven before you put the pizza in for 450 degrees. 450 degrees. And here I have my marinara sauce. I'm gonna spread my marinara sauce all over the pizza. And this is so easy to make, isn't it? This is something you can do. Like since you're making pizza, just make like 3 times the recipe and just make a bunch of dough and freeze it. Freeze it, or if you're making a pizza party, so much fun. Everybody can put their toppings on. You can have all the toppings available. That is a fun party. I have done that before. Everybody can make their own as they wish. All right, so I'm just spreading the marinara sauce. I like a lot of marinara sauce, so I'm putting a lot. And our cheese. Just like that. Be generous with the cheese or not, whatever you want. That's your pizza, remember? You can add all the toppings. I like lots of cheese. The crust is really nice and thin. So the cheese, look how pretty this is. I think that's going to be amazing. So these go in the oven for 15 minutes at 450 degrees. I'm going to pop in the oven. Now, let's do our kale. So we have a beautiful bunch of kale right here. And we have one shallot. We're going to need a saute pan. We're going to heat it up, the saute pan, to medium-high heat. Medium-high heat. So let's cut our shallot. You guys can see here, that's a beautiful big shallot. And I'm just going to peel it and slice it really thin. Slice the shallot. I like when I find these big, large shallots. When you get the petite shallots, I don't like it. It takes a long time. You have to peel them. With a big, large one like that, it's much easier. And I love the flavor of shallots because it's a really mild onion. It goes great with my pizza here. But you can use red onion as well. Or garlic. If you want to saute your kale with some delicious garlic, you can do that. I always like to teach and give options for you to make your own. I think it's very important for you to use the flavors you want. So cooking is about having fun. It's about improvising. So I have my shallot. I'm going to slice them very thin. I already turned on my saute pan at medium high. So I'm slicing the shallot. And I'm going to add some extra virgin olive oil to the saute pan. About one tablespoon. We start with 1 tablespoon. I'm going to add the shallots first. It's like a healthy pizza. So I have the shallots ready to go. My pan is being warm. Now I'm just going to slice the kale. Trying to, not too thin, just about 1/4 of an inch. Just like that. That's going to be, we're going to saute this for about 2 minutes. That's really fast. It's almost having a salad on top of your pizza. I like that, to have fresh greens in a pizza. So, just slicing the kale. I just love the taste of kale. And for this recipe, I'm using the stem of the kale as well. I'm using it all. So the pan is hot. I'm going to add my shallots. Not as hot as I wish, but that's okay. We're going to need a little tongs just to saute the shallots. And I forgot to time my pizza, but it's 15 minutes. Mecca did the timing for me. So 12 minutes, Mecca, please, for my pizza. And Mecca is behind the scenes.
Yes, I am.
In the studio, helping me with my video today. And I almost ready with the shallots. You don't want the shallots to be like super sauteed. I want them to have a little color, little brown color. Just a little caramelization to them. And we're going to need some sea salt. And that's it. And let's do our dressing, our drizzling for our pizza. So for the dressing, I need 3 lemons, 2 tablespoons of tahini, which is sesame paste, 1 tablespoon of maple syrup, 2 tablespoons of grapeseed oil. So let's add that. And a whisk. We're going to need a whisk. So 2 tablespoons of grapeseed oil. We're going to need 2 tablespoons of tahini, which is sesame paste. 1 tablespoon of maple syrup, sea salt, Himalayan sea salt, right here, Himalayan sea salt. And I'm going to put a little za'atar as well, which is the Mediterranean spice. It's made with sumac, marjoram, thyme, and sesame seeds. So flavor all over the place today. Really great, rich flavors. Let me mix a little bit my shallots. They're always there. So I'm going to cut my lemons and squeeze them right here in the bowl. So 1, 2, 3. And I like to use a fork like that. Squeeze the lemon inside. The reason why I have a colander, because see the seeds? I don't want seeds in my dressing. That wouldn't be good. So 1, 2. Meanwhile, I'm keeping an eye on my shallots. Like if you want to double, you can do all together. Just make sure your shallots get a little bit color, but not too much. They're almost there. As soon as I finish with my lemons, we can put our kale there. I think I squeezed 2. Maybe I'll need 3, maybe not. The reason why I say 3 lemons, sometimes you get really juicy lemons, and sometimes you get dry lemons. Let me put my kale in the pan. Look how beautiful. This is like one meal. You don't need a salad because the salad is on top of your pizza already. Look how pretty. Let's add some Himalayan sea salt here. And that's it. This is really fast. This is just a couple of minutes. Let's seal our dressing. And we just whisk with a whisk like this. Make sure all the ingredients are incorporated well. Just like that. Break the sesame with the whisk. And we're gonna whisk until we have a creamy consistency in our dressing. And let's just go like that with our kale. I just want to wilt the kale a little bit. I still want it to be very fluffy, not fully cooked. Almost like having a beautiful, vibrant green salad on top. Okay. Done. 2 minutes, right? So the dressing, I'm whisking, 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 whisking. Make sure it's creamy. Good, good, good. And one thing, when you do a dressing like that, when you leave it at room temperature, it gets creamier. The tahini makes it creamier. If it stands for 5 minutes, it gets thicker. So that's why I like to do that in the last minute. Let me just try. Delish. The dressing is here. We have our gold cheese and our roasted butternut squash. Let me take my butternut squash off the oven. I'll be right back. So the butternut squash is not ready yet. It just needs a little bit more roasting, but I was smart. I did before for you guys a butternut squash, and that's how it's supposed to look like. It gets smaller, the pieces get smaller, and you get this beautiful golden color. You have this beautiful golden color caramelized from the sumac, from all the spices we used. So from this, it's gonna be like that. It's gonna be reduced. The pieces are gonna get smaller because they're gonna be roasted. So this needs about 30 more minutes in the oven. So back to the oven, but this is the final result. This is what you want. You want this beautiful color in your butternut squash. Now, I did not want you guys to wait for the pizza, so I pre-made a pizza as well. You can see in the camera here, look how gorgeous this pizza is. Isn't it? I'm really happy the way it turned out. So I need to decorate our pizza right now. So we're gonna add the butternut squash on top. Right? The kale. The kale. Look how festive this pizza is. Right? I love it. This is like guilt-free pizza because the crust is really thin, it's gluten-free, and there's kale, there's greens, there's butternut squash, there's all the good stuff that is good for you. Pizza never tasted so delicious and have been so healthy. Putting everything, I don't want to miss a beat here. And I'm going to add all the beautiful butternut squash on top. This is the kind of food I like to eat. This makes me happy. Something that is great for you, so easy to make, and tastes so amazingly, insanely delicious. And I love goat cheese, so I'm going to be using goat cheese on top here today. I love goat cheese. You just do it with my hands. Just go like that. Tell me that's not amazing pizza. I'm getting hungry, and that's a good thing. When the chef that is cooking the food is hungry to eat your food, my own food, look at that. I'm really enjoying this. So I like right before I serve to put back in the oven for like 2 minutes just to get the cheese a little warm, but you don't need to, it's up to you. That's how easy it was to make this pizza. Let me just wash my hands. So that's our lesson for today. Our plant-based pizza. Look how beautiful this pizza is. I mean, look at this. I'm Chef Vivien Cunha. I'm so glad you're here today. And please do the pizza, take a photograph, post on our Instagram account, a Lazy Acres Natural Market. Make the shape you want, mini, oval, round like that. Enjoy your pizza. This is a pizza made with love. And when you make it and you serve it for the people you love, they're going to be so happy. So I'm happy that I'm here to share this recipe with you today. And we're going to be posting that on our YouTube channel. So subscribe. Our videos are going to be in our YouTube channel. And the more subscribers we have, more videos we can provide. Please support us there. And I'm Chef Vivien Cunha. Today we did a vegetarian, plant-based pizza. Look how pretty this pizza is. Hope you enjoy. You make your pizza. And please send the pictures to me on our Instagram account. I'm Chef Vivien Cunha, and I wish you guys a great day. Bye-bye.